happening, my people? So, another episode of Lovecraft Country. This is episode 5, Strange Case. And I want to start this off with an apology. From last week, I was talking about like theories and stuff. And whenever homeboy kind of confronted Tick in the museum about the dude and stuff, I was like, he's insinuating that Tick is gay, and that's why Tick and Leti have like he kind of pulls away from Leti and stuff. So I was thinking maybe Tick was down low or something. Whole time, and y'all called me on it in the comment section, it was Montrose. He was saying that Montrose, his father, was a down low brother or whatever. So that concludes that I was wrong last week. So he was talking about Montrose. But if this is your first time coming to the channel, man, appreciate y'all for coming through. My returning viewers or whatever, shit, happy that y'all here. Man, let's get into this episode. So it starts off, man, crazy. So last episode, Ruby then gave the goods up to homeboy. She wake up today. Now you looking, I'm like, who is this right here? I'm like, this is a big old bed. I'm like, I don't think that's Leti or whatever who's in that bed, because it's light skin, but it look like a white woman. I'm like, that's the lady from the second episode that had the dogs. I'm like, what's she doing? Then I'm like, oh man, that might be Ruby and stuff. So it turns out that was Ruby. She been having issues and stuff about her place in society, in the world. She's been having so many obstacles trying to become what she wanted to be. And homeboy like, I can give you that. So he makes her a white woman. She wake up, she tripping. She walking down the street like just in shock. And people aren't really treating her bad. They treating her like just they have sympathy for her or something. Or they like, oh my God, what's happening? She goes, she bumps into a little dude. They run up on the little dude, man, and the cops want to kill him. And she like, wait, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. And then they grab her. Your husband told us about your situation and everything. That's not my husband. And she didn't want to go back to him because she weirded out. Then she started transforming or whatever. He grabs and snatches her back up in there, and you're like, what the hell is going on? So you think he possessed her, did something because her body gets moving. I'm like, man, he put a demon inside of her or something. What the fuck? Then he grabs a knife and stabs her in the chest and rips her skin off. And she goes back to Ruby. I'm like, what did I just watch? What did I just see? That was crazy. The special effects and stuff on this episode were top notch, were Emmy worthy. These transformations on here, yo, that stuff right there is crazy. Then we get to the protagonists of the series, Leti and Tick. So we seen the end of the episode. Montrose killed Hematoya, whatever, I don't know what the name is, but killed that lady. And we see Montrose just chilling, and Tick goes in there, and they're like, where is she? And Leti, oh, you let her loose? What's going on? Tick knows what happened. Tick knows his father. He beat the shit out of his daddy. I'm like, God damn. And his acting on this scene was stupendous. Because, man, Leti was scared as hell. Oh, my God. Then people pulled him off. And, like, I could imagine, like, being in that scene and stuff and acting with him. Like, he was very, very convincing. Like, get off of me. Get off. I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, this cat right here, man, this nigga can act. This brother can act right here, man. I like this dude. I like this dude, man. Hey, he was very convincing. Then we get back to Ruby and them, man. The white man done experimented on it. He tells her about this thing that he developed and all that. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Then Ruby, she's like, this wasn't painful. This was something else. But then He leaves us a little potion and some money on the counter. She goes for another journey, another ride in her whiteness, and she wants to enjoy it this time. So all the luxuries and stuff she has been missing out on, she goes out and she has the time of her life. Like, that's crazy. Uh, emotional scene, man. Whenever they get back, uh, Ruby, not Ruby, Chick and Leti, they have a discussion, man, and they talk about what happened and about his anger and stuff, and how his daddy used to beat on him. And I didn't think I had that anger in me until I went to the war, and then I let it out. And this is kind of, that was coming out of me just now. And she was scared because he asked her for the pictures earlier in the episode or something, and she had a bat in her hand. She was like, I'm scared of this brother. And he was like, I don't want you to ever be scared of me. That was a good little scene. And they had another sex scene on here. They had one in maybe episode 3, I think, and it was trash. It was trash. This one right here, he made up. He redeemed himself. This was a pretty good scene. It was on the car and stuff. They had passion and everything. I'm like, okay, because you let the white dude and Ruby, you let them outshine you. He came back. He he bounced back. Back to Ruby. Now she's really trying to make the most of her whiteness. But that shit ain't worth it. Man, that shit look so painful. But she goes to get this job. The job that she wanted, her dream job or whatever, and the other black lady got it. She goes, and her qualifications, she was way more than qualified. She should have had the job, but her color was a hurdle. So she gets the job, but at the end she start transforming and stuff. She like, I gotta go to the restroom. So she hurries up and gets out, and she starts transforming. You see this again on film, and that's so I'm like, that shit not worth it. That is not worth it. If you told me I could be Jay-Z whenever I wanted to, and I could lay up with Beyonce, and I could have all the $1 billion, and I could be the coldest rapper in the world and everything, but I got to go through that. I'm cool being me. I'm cool being me. Nah, Hove B, y'all got that. Y'all got that. I'm good. I'm good. That is too crazy. And we see Montrose. Yeah. So Montrose is gay. He's been suppressing that the whole time and everything through his life. That's why he was so angry and everything. So he goes meet homeboy that the dude in the museum accused him of, and they go have a nasty sex scene. They get it in like homeboy, like he, and I was like, too much. That's too much. Like, cause he had a big nasty loogie. I'm like, I like the Frank Ocean that they put the Frank Ocean in the scene. I'm like, it makes sense. It makes sense. But the scene, I kind of had to turn away. I'll be honest, but we see Montrose. We see his move on. So Ruby got the position. She got the job. So what she choose to do? She choose to flex her power and stuff. She keeps going after the sister. And stuff. And I guess she wondering, like, how did you get this job? Like, I've been qualified. I've been should have had this gig or something. Why you got it? And then she talks to her, and the homegirl, she ain't got no qualifications or anything. She got this, and it's like, I think she's very angry at this. And then she goes, we see her with the co-workers in how people talk about you behind your back. Like, you a fly on the wall. And see how they talk about black people in this and that. So, later on in the episode, she stays hard on the sister. But it's not because she hates her or whatever. It's because when a black person is in a certain position, you got to be above and beyond. You got to be the best. Like if Jackie Robinson went to baseball and he was a scrub, I don't think they would have had too many other brothers they would have been recruiting. But since he went there, I think he was like rookie of the year and went made to the World Series or whatever. We need some more of them Negroes. We need some more of them Negroes are up in here. Shit. So that's kind of the way it works. So you're not just representing you. If you're the first, like Barack Obama, you had to be above and beyond. And then people still can't stand him. Even black people, they got a lot of black people. He didn't do nothing for us and stuff. President is not the easiest thing in the world. But he was classy. But you got to be above and beyond when you are a person of color. It is just the way of the world. Time for Ruby to pay up a favor. Homeboy was like, you can do this, you can be back and forth, you can do what you want. I'm gonna need a favor though. So the favor, she has to go and be pretty much a maid or a servant to the party. So in the party, they ask her to plant something on a sheriff or somebody, and she goes to plant the stuff. She gets like by a closet. They got a dude in there, his tongue is cut out, and she about to throw up in there. It's just a lot of behind the scenes fuck shit going on with that situation with Christina and with William and them. It's some crazy stuff. But Ruby wants to up her level. She wants to continue doing what she's doing. She thinks that she's getting the life that she deserves or whatever. So whenever you in a situation like that, you would do anything. That's like them memes whenever they got a cat in the blender and like, would you blend this cat up for $1 billion? And everybody be like, man, I'd kill that cat or whatever. Like, people morals go downhill whenever it is for monetary gain or something of that nature. What's next? Leti thinks Montrose let him and Toya go, but Tick know that he killed her. I already said that and then they discussing it though. They discussing it. He like he didn't let her go. I know my father. I know what he did. She found a dude in the closet. Like, I kind of jumped ahead on that. She extra hard on the black girl. I already touched on that. Montrose like, fuck it. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be me, man. Be who I supposed to be. So he goes, he's partying it up. No, he's not partying it up yet. He's just chilling. He's chilling with the drag queens and stuff. Like, he kind of more open and more comfortable with his situation. He chilling. I don't know, that ass whipping or something, or he just don't give a fuck no more. Because he's like he suppressed that his whole life, and now you seeing this episode, he's kind of like letting loose. He doesn't let loose all the way yet. I'm gonna get to that later on. And so then they have a situation at the job, and they talking about, she's talking to the sister. She like, you got to be above and beyond with these white folks. These white folks don't give a fuck about you. You got to be above and beyond, etc., etc. And they're like, what's going on here? She was inviting us to the south side. So everybody, they end up going to the hood, and they having a party. They partying. Oh, these colored folks, and teach me how to do this dance and this and that. And Ruby sees all that, and it's kind of like, you want to be a part of this, and you want to be with the white folks and stuff, and you want to have that privilege. But then she's in her element, and she always wanted ripping the stage and being able to dance and be comfortable. And it's like she looking around and she like, damn, at this point I kind of want to be me. It's like, I don't feel comfortable in this spot. I don't feel good. So she like, man, fuck this shit. Fuck this transformation shit. She go outside and you just see. So she transforms herself, and she turns back into Ruby. And it's nasty. It is so nasty. She looks through a little peephole, and she sees how the sister got the job. Homeboy wanted to smash. She was a pretty young thing. And so homeboy, like, he think he can flex his power over her. So he tries to like push up on her and whatnot. And she fights him off. And so she sees that. And it's like, So I guess she plots like, I gotta do something about this. Uh, Tick beat Montrose into becoming who he wanted to be. Tick beat the gay back into him, beat the straight out of him, whatever. Montrose is like, fuck it. You know, he's just out in the party in front of everybody, kissing and dancing and living his best life. He living la vida loca, whatever you want to call it. He doing his thing like he just don't care no more. I ain't mad at him. That's the life you want to live. Hey, do you think, Montrose? I want to see, like, whenever he's back around everybody and stuff. Well, he probably won't be around for a little minute because Tick beat the hell out of him. So he might want to avoid Tick for a little minute. You might want to avoid Tick. I don't think you can handle your son no more. No, my brother, you shouldn't have beat him when he was a child. Ruby and Christina have a talk, and they talk about like the potion and stuff. And Christina is like, it's not about being a white woman or not being comfortable. It's about being who the fuck you want to be. You be who you want to be for you to do your thing. And Ruby takes that and she like, okay. And so she transforms one last time. Well, it might not be a last time. You never know. But she go back to her job. She like, I'm putting in my notice. And so homeboy and them, they been fucking her and sisters, figuratively, literally, whatever. So she like, I'm gonna repay this back. So she like, I want to quit my job because I'm so attracted to you and stuff. And so she seduce him. She get him to strip, and she dominatrix him and ties him up and everything. And then she started fucking him with a high heel shoe, reaming him. I'm like, oh my God. And then she transforms like on his back, like, so whenever he turns around, he sees her skin all hanging off her body. You could imagine that somebody seduce you, man, and even without getting reamed with a high heel shoe or something, man, like you about to do your thing. She's like, hey, girl, what's that? And you start taking your clothes off, and she just, all her skin start falling out. Ah! I'm gone. Like, pew! But she tore him up. And then she turned him over. I wanted you to see that a nigga bitch did this to you. And she did him doity. YouTube might demonetize me on this one. Because, man, I've been doing a lot of cussing. But this right here, that's the only way to express it. Tick and Leti finally put their feelings on the table and stuff. And he's like, I don't think I ever felt love. Because whenever I was younger, my parents, they was together, but they were like, they did what they had to do for the family or something, but I don't know if that was necessarily love. And then Leti, she has her thing, and she like, my mom was in love all the time. She was like from man to man or whatever. And so when I wanted to be with somebody, I wanted it to mean something. So I feel like this episode is a lot of people, like Tick was fighting, he didn't want to be like his parents and stuff, or he didn't know what love was, so he kind of went away from it because he didn't want to repeat a cycle. And Leti, she didn't want to repeat a cycle either. In a lot of people on this episode, they want to be something, they aspire to be something else. And like the transformation with Ruby is kind of like a metaphor for people just in general wanting to be like Black Lives Matter, something, we want to be equal. Like they got certain, like white people, they want to be black in certain instances, and they want to say the N-word, and people, women want equality in this and that, and black women want this, and dudes want this. Everybody wants something. And so it was just like kind of a metaphor of That's just how I see it. And I'm gonna watch the podcast after this to get like the writer's view or whatever. It's like on HBO, on YouTube. But at the end of the episode, we see Ruby, and she goes, I must have didn't read that earlier because I wrote it down. In Christina and William, they the same cat. Like I had kind of put that together, but well, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna say I put it together. Somebody else put that in the comment section last week, and I'm like, I think you on something. So it was true. So Ruby goes in there, and William is coming out. And she's like, why y'all keep going in here? And then you see transforms. You've been William the whole time. But she sees it, and it's like, oh my God, like she been doing the same thing the whole episode. Like you've been doing that to people too. And now you see how nasty it is. God damn it, that's nasty. But end of the episode, we see Tick. He been trying to decipher this language. So he sees words, and then he puts something together. He's like, so he makes a phone call, and somebody answers the phone. He's like, oh, hold up. So you knew about this and that, and you see die written on the paper. I don't think it's Christina or something. He was talking to a female, but it wasn't Christina. He was talking to the Chinese lady he was fighting, or Vietnamese lady, or I don't know what Oriental lady, but the one he was fighting in that fantasy on like episode 2, I think that's who he was talking about. Well, who he was talking to on the phone. So she was supposed to be dead, but she is very much alive. It seems like it. And then next episode, it looked like we're going to be diving into her story. And maybe about how the magic and stuff, how she got involved into it. Maybe it brought her back to life or something. But this is crazy. But then next episode is talking about like her hardships in life as well, in her oppression. And I like how they doing that on this season, man. Like giving everybody like a platform for you to like see the world through other people's eyes and stuff. Like they got a lot of social stuff involved in these episodes, man. So it's a real good look. But I blabbered on long enough, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Go be the greatest of the most hated, man. Holla at you, boy. Peace out.